Okay, this is Kean, Piano 3, for February 23rd. For February 23rd, we're now finishing the entire Clementi, not the entire, the first movement. I sent you all 5 pages. We're only going to do 2. For those, I already know a couple of people want to do the whole thing because it's so beautiful. I'll work with you privately on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th pages. But this is the first, these are the first 2 pages. So sonatina, keep in mind, it's a small sonata. You have your A part, your B part, your development section, and your recapitulation. You can take that to the bank. If you have a music test on music history, musicology, anything where they're talking about form and analysis, you always know that sonatas, by the way, concertos, sonatas, and symphonies are all the same thing in concept. A symphony is like a sonata, but it's for full orchestra. A concerto has the same sonata form, but it's for solo instrument and orchestra or piano accompaniment. And if you play a sonata or a sonatina on the piano, it's just for solo instrument, period. And you can play a solo, you can play sonatina, sonata on a saxophone, clarinet, flute, oboe, they're all the same. But they all have this form up to about the Romantic period, about 1825, 1830. Because then they started developing the form a little bit differently. But if you're playing Mozart, Haydn, Schubert, early Beethoven, any of these folks, you're going to see this form. So put that in your hat and use it, because you want to get as much knowledge as you can in these 4 years. Because afterwards you have to now make a living out of this. And the more you know, the better you are for it. So here's the sonatina. I'm not going to play it fast. You already know this part. I'm shading it. Crescendo. And this part's loud. Decrescendo, you not only end in the key of G, you end rather softly, maybe mezzo piano. This melody and its transformation as far as line, I showed you last time. A, B, C, D, E, and then it comes back. That's what music does. It goes in a line. You find the line. Sometimes it's buried. Sometimes it's very obvious. Now here's the new part, and I've told you this too. A development section, excuse me. They take either this melody or this, and it's developed. The composer develops it. In this case, it's developed via the rhythm of bum ba da dum bum, and it moves to a G chord. But the F in the bass, that's a 5/4/2, and it's a G7 over an F, resolves to a C minor. So he's taking you to the key of C minor for 2 full lines. You will hear C minor. This could be anything until you hear the E flat. Now you clearly hear C minor. So here's this development section. Slow. Big. And you know just where it's going. This is called a pedal point, or a pedal, and it means it's repeated one note as the chords under or over it change. G7, C minor, C minor, and it ends. And a recap recapitulation means we're recapping the melody. Same thing. Backwards. And then, just to get you to the next part, it's in C now. And now we're in C. So we can end in C. So here's the second page, slow. Left hand, accent, accent. So if you can play on the first page, it's the same as this one. It's just down the fourth. That's all it is. Okay, so that's your Clementi. Now let's go to America. This is very, 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 very important, not just for this semester. I've told you at the end of Piano 4, you have to be able to play the 3 patriotic songs. Learn this one perfectly now. It's got to be memorized. You memorize your patriotic songs and solos. Solos and patriotic songs are always memorized. So, I got you through most of it last time. And I showed you that this is an F major, D minor. You must pedal, by the way. You always, unless your keyboard doesn't have it. You have a C chord. You have notes going up, stepwise. Same idea, F, D minor, B flat major, F over C, because that's going to go up chromatically. You know, it's very interesting. It's a simple little piece. It's actually based off something before it was called America, but look at it harmonically. You have major. We land on a half cadence, the 5 chord. I know it's a 5/6, but it's a C chord over E. Then we play more, and this is a deceptive cadence. Of course, you expected this, but it's. Then you cadence out 1 6 4 5 1, perfect authentic cadence. Okay, this is easy. The left hand plays an F, a C, a C. The melody. Just use the fingers that I have written there. 3 5. Naturally, this would be 4 2 1 3. This is 2 4 1 3 1 2. So far you have this: G minor, C, B flat, C, F, D minor, B flat, and F with a C, and then the cadence. Arpeggio, right? Arpeggio. Then you have this little pattern. And here's the last 4 bars. So the right hand is simply. Now you have to get to A and C from those 8th notes. Use the fingerings that's best for you. Those parentheses means those are the piano fingerings, 3, 4, 5. If you have good piano technique, that's the fingering for you. If you have a better fingering, you can play all 5. You want to use all 5, I don't care. The pedal will hold it. Sounded exactly the same. I use 2 different sets of fingers. So it's. Now here, minor, I have F and D. I have the B flat with a D in parentheses, meaning if you don't want to play that D, you could play just, and that's okay with me. But then you have F and A, C chord, F chord. So the last two bars, B flat chord, you land on F and A C chord, which is the 5. The 7 is in the left hand, and it ends on 1. Left hand has the same direction as. You can hear the harmony. So F major, a scale, a full F major chord, a full G minor chord, and another F major chord with the A in the bass. Then octaves, B flat, C, C7, F. B flat, C, C7, F. So the last 4 bars are scale, F major. Just follow your fingers up the scale. Then your cadence. Gotta practice that. Or you may want to add the D, but either way, 1, 6, 4, 5, 7, 1. Okay, so the whole thing is. C, another C, F, scale in sixths. Okay, so that's your F major America. So that's the Clementi. That's America. Now let's finish. Oh, you'll finish Frack and Pole on page 3, I believe. That's the same one. So you're still doing this. Da da dum da 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 dum da da dum bum. I showed you that. I showed you the chords of E major, B major, and again, just like this, you take the whole measure and figure out what the chord is for the whole measure. E, G sharp, B, E major. Measure 3. B major. And so on. I already did that, so I won't do that again. All right, major minor scales. I say. So we're still on the F sharp scale. So you will have had that last week. I don't have to go over that. Just get your F sharp. I'll go over it when I see you, but all the fingerings are very clear. Don't forget the fingerings for F sharp: 1, 2, 3, 5 arpeggio. Just like C. But F sharp minor is the 4, 1, 2, 4 and 2, 1, 4, 2. Okay? And let's see. Let me just look at that F sharp. Oh, I see, because we have cadences too. So we already had that. I don't have to go over the F sharp. So far the Clementi, America, you'll finish the Frack and Pole, page 3, number 8. Now, let's do the cadences. So far you've had C, G, and D. Now we're going to add A. And then next week we'll add E. Yeah, we're going in fifths here. So I already did C and G. Let's look at D. This is the cadence sheet, measure 13. You do everything you did before with C. D. The same exact motions, the same movements, the same intervallic movements. So you move up, you move back, the thumb moves down, I've had students who actually just do it by feel. They just know where the fingers go. I'd rather you not. I'd rather you read it and see what you're doing. So you have D major, G major, D, A7, and D. Then you make it minor. To make it minor, by the way, you're just flatting a third here. On the major, you flat the top. The 5/7 is always the same because it's understood that it's harmonic minor. Then the bass line. I see that almost all of you already have this. You already have that feel. Now we're going to add A on measure 19. A major. D major is A, D, F sharp. Back to A. E7, G sharp, B, D, E. And back to A. When you practice these, hold them for 4 beats. 1, 2, while you're holding on the pedal, get to the next chord. 2, 3, 4, 2, see, I'm ready. And I also have a feeling of tempo and of rhythm. Instead of don't do that. Don't just guess where the notes are. Then the bass line, of course. That's a nice deep one. I wrote it up here. In case you're uncomfortable or your keyboard doesn't have this. And minor. So you're up to A. So I believe that's it. You're still working on page 3 in the fracking pole, the sing and play, and then you're now adding A to your cadences, but your scales are D flat, E flat, and F sharp, the Clementi, and America. It starts to get just harder and harder now because there's more and more and more. This particular segment of your piano was all done about 15 years ago, and they've been using it for the last 15. I've been here 14, so I've been using it all these years as well. And everybody gets it who practices. So if you're not getting it, now there are people who sometimes practice incorrectly. I see this very often. You're playing this. I'll start all over. You keep starting from the beginning, over and over and over again. That gets you nowhere. You figure out the note you made a mistake on. I'll make a mistake now. Oh, what did I do? I have to figure out what I did. I played a B flat by accident. So, and then I do it again. It takes at least 2 times to correct one wrong thing you do because it's muscle memory. See, when I do this, I'm learning incorrect fingerings, incorrect note, everything. So I have to fix that over and over. Now maybe I'm ready. And only practice to that point. But if you keep going and just fixing things as you go, you're not getting any continuity. You're not getting a feeling of really fixing the problems. Okay? And that's it. Have a good week. I'll see you in class or in our virtual class.